I cannot express how pissed off I am right now. All right. Well, hello, and good evening, all of you, and welcome to my channel. Of course, you amazing channel members. So glad that you are here with me tonight because, like a true Slytherin, I got to share my pain with the rest of you guys. And honestly, let's face it, last week that space poppin' scene with Ahsoka, oh my gosh, that thing made me laugh so hard. I had to put it up on Twitter. I can't believe how stupid this is. I think that thing is up to like 200K views. So at least there's some payoff for the pain there. So for those of you who are wondering, in this video, I'm going to be giving a couple of snippets of my reaction to the show, along with the reaction of my channel members, and then give a depends on how long it's going to take review of this episode, along with some commentary from my members. You have Hayden Christensen show up as Anakin. You know what? I really should, but I'm too much of a lady to do that on screen right now. I cannot. We're gonna focus on this shot. I think this is the perfect place, exactly, to start reviewing this. This. Hang on. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna put your comments up while I drain this because I am really going to need this before I start talking. You know what? Y'all have got some absolutely great comments. So we gonna start from the yeah, we will ish exactly. It was bad enough that, don't get me wrong, I love Hayden Christensen. I love him to death. One of the reasons why I love Revenge of the Sith so much is because you saw that transformation of what makes Anakin into Darth Vader. And you no longer see this face, and then when you do see him as a Force ghost in Return of the Jedi, he's obviously older, but we don't see this face. We don't see Padawan Anakin. We don't see him. I mean, he was on the council, but he was not granted the rank of master. Remember that, as well. But it bring him up in Kenobi, which never should have happened. But hey, they had to have the quote unquote rematch of the century, right? The rematch of the century, the rematch between Vader and Kenobi was supposed to be in A New Hope, which is why it made Kenobi's sacrifice so large and so important and integral to the plot. But since you have this show, which you have no idea which direction you want to put it in, what you want to do, in order to keep the quote unquote normies around, and perhaps not perhaps actually, stab a knife in the back of, the OG Star Wars fans, you drop this Memberberry. And for what? And for what reason? I'm scared to even know what that reason is. It's disingenuous. It's such a hack move. And yet again, just proves to me, like what people have been telling me and what I've started to see, is just how much of a hack Filoni is with writing this screw this nonsense. What is it Drinker says? F off show? I can't say that. So they bump this friggin' show. Bonzo the Bonzo says this show is so basic. Literally nothing interesting or unexpected happens. Yeah, there's nothing new. You bring in a doomsday machine, so to speak, which is like a ring version of, of the Death Star. We've seen that. Um, there's nothing about the New Republic that we're interested in, except the fact that they just seem completely stupid. I mean, the same people who beat the Empire can't get their crap together. Um, who cares about Sabine? Who cares about Hera? And honestly, who cares about Ahsoka? There's no emotional attachment. The only emotions that I feel are for Lothcat and Chopper and robot David Tennant. That's it. Now, that's pretty messed up when I feel more of an emotional attachment to, you know, a droid, an astromech droid, and, a cat thing. And because nothing interesting or unexpected happens, that's why normies are like, bump this show. Alan says Filoni does not understand. Let me emphasize, Filoni does not understand the concept of cliffhanger. You're 100% right. In order for a cliffhanger to work, we have to feel some kind of emotional punch or emotional attachment to the character. A cliffhanger should give you a gut punch. I felt nothing when Ahsoka went over the edge again, like they did in the Avengers films, like they did in Infinity War. Okay. When Natasha went over the edge, oh my God. I just, oh. But here, I didn't freaking care. You can't have a cliffhanger with characters we don't care about. And a cliffhanger needs to be a big, oh my gosh, what happens? I need to find out what happens. I can't believe you did that. Who didn't see this coming? Ugh. Dead Man Walking 55 says, I will say this was slightly better than the first two episodes, but it's still bizarre and that crappy ending. Yeah, let's see. What did I give last week's episode? I forget what I gave last week's episode. I'm trying to forget what it is. I think I gave it like a 4.5, but we all know because of Rosario Dawson, I put an extra one on top of that. Uh this one I'd give a 3. It is better than the last ones that we've seen, but not by much. Again, you have a Hayden Christensen in this, and also they're kind of forced to by this episode because there's 8 episodes. So midway, there needs to be something to happen to keep people to watch. And of course, they go the cheapest, laziest way out and they drop Hayden Christensen in there. Makes no sense. Yeah, I had to have a big drink because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this lack of creativity and the laziness of relying on Memberberries. And again, when it comes to Star Wars, not that I'm 100% a normie, but I love the films. The movies are what I have seen. I shouldn't have to go back and watch whatever the frick it is, like Rebels or whatever. So if you watch Rebels and Clone Wars, you probably think differently about this, but I should not have to watch that in order to enjoy this and get pulled into the mythos of this. You need to explain it to me. Anything Star Wars needs to line up with what I call the basic level of canon, and that is the films 1 through 6. If you cannot trace back to movies 1 through 6, or provide dialogue or show us what connects your stuff to episodes 1 through 6, you suck. You 100% suck. Unexpected Fire, aka Chris, says a lot of fans will eat this up because they're like memberberries. Star Wars is just Star Wars is just self-referential, mid-level meh now. I think, how would I put this? Fans who love Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, you're gonna love it. I see this and I love it, but I see it and I'm just like, Dave Filoni has the gall to pull this. So you'll have the fans like me who will see this and are just like, I love it, but I freaking hate you for bringing it up. Then you'll have some of them who are just like, and you're right. I just want, it's a member berry. I should be happy. I should be happy with that. If they're happy with that, power to you. You can go ahead and do that. But member berries is like empty calories. It doesn't do anything in the end. And here's the thing, normies could really care less about your member berries. All they care about is there enough to keep me watching? And there's nothing here really to keep normies watching. They don't care. Filoni is a hack. Yes, E. Clay Thomason. People told me this. This was before I even knew who Filoni was at all. But the more media I have consumed that he has touched, I 100% believe this. 100%. I bet you if you pulled out that writer's room and the quote unquote Lucasfilm story group, bet you if you pulled that out, you could really spotlight why Filoni is a hack. He's no Jon Favreau. Not at all. This is why you fail. Let's review, shall we? LOL. Woo. Okay, hang on. I need to get this here. All right. Dad Man Walking 55 says another BS reason for the lack of integrity of the mouse. Nothing to work from, no comics, no books, blah, 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 equal no EU, but we will cherry pick the world between worlds to further our agenda and characters. That's what angers me, and I am trying to watch my language. And you make a good point, Dad Walking. When Kathleen Kennedy first said, "Oh, we don't have any source material to work from," I'm like, "Ever? Are you serious?" Even myself as a normie, granted, I've only read 3 EU books, Heir of the Empire a long time ago, The Courtship of Princess Leia, and um I'm forgetting the other one. I just read Sacrifice. Well, last year that I read it, even I knew that was out there because friends of mine who were more into the EU than I was, they were always reading a book. New Star Wars book is out. This is out. All of that was out there. I have Star Wars comic books. All of that stuff was out there. Here's the thing. It's not that the mouse had nothing to work from. It's just that if the mouse went back to that source material, it was better than what they could put together. And the mouse can't be shown up. That's the other thing. If Lucasfilm had basically said, you know what, we totally screwed up. Sorry, we're screwed up. We're going to start from square one. The fans would actually forgive them for that. But no, they think that they know better. So they cherry pick what they're going to use from the EU without giving respect to the EU and just throw this stuff up there. So again, myself, just watching the movies, I'm looking at this and saying, what the heck is this? And the only reference that I have is I'm thinking, shoot, that looks like that scene, you know, in Infinity War where they're trying to get the Soul Stone. Why is Star Wars ripping off of Marvel? Ugh. Chef Nation says, y'all, I haven't even done my episode 3 review of my channel. You know what? Episode 3 was so bad. The review that I clipped and uploaded to YouTube from what we discussed was, I think, as long as the episode itself, actually longer than the episode itself, because there was so much to pick out and highlight what they effed up with respect to it. So I don't blame you. Episode 3 was so freaking bad. The best thing to come out of episode 3 was that clip of me watching Ahsoka in space, jumping over ships and whatnot. HC says he needs that money. Yeah, I don't fault people for getting those paychecks whatsoever. But it's like before the paycheck happens, somebody has to write that into existence. Somebody, Filoni or somebody said, "Hey, why don't we bring back Hayden Christensen?" Yeah, we can just bring him back. For what reason? Even with Ashoka, with all her talking about Anakin and all of that, her emotion is so flat. We could care less. Anakin could be, Ned the wino down the street for all we care. Dadman Walking 55 says the ending makes me so mad. I've got something else to rampage on about in addition to Darth Maul. Yes. This is some straight up, to quote Culture Casino, bologna sausage. 100%. Chef Nation says, now we have the new Sinister Sisters. Let's bring Darth Maul back one last time. Let me guess, are they gonna like be together over a cauldron and conjure Darth Maul back to life, and we see like two halves of his body come back together or something like that? Let me shut up. I'm giving Disney ideas. All right. I don't want to do that. Helena J says, just keep bringing back dead people. Who knows? They might wind up using AI to bring Leia back again. Some lazy ass writing. I mean, I don't even want to qualify it as writing. Chef Nation says, I'm team Sith Daddy and Little Sith. Girl, me too. Me too. And in my head, I'm thinking the only reason that Little Sith didn't force choke Sabine in the beginning was she kind of wanted to have fun with her. Kind of like how cats, like my cat, Professor X, okay. When, like, say a palmetto bug or little lizard gets in the house, he doesn't kill it right away. He stalks it, he terrorizes it, he suffocates it. He knocks it to one side, knocks it to the other side. He has fun with it before he delivers a death blow. So I'll give that to little Sith. You know, I give that to her. I was hoping she died. I was hoping to get rid of Sabine too. I don't care about Sabine. I don't care about Hera. And as a Rosario Dawson, it pains me to say this. I don't care about Ahsoka either. I only care about Sith Karen, Lil Sith, and Sith Daddy. That's all I care about right now. That's it. Helena J, yeah, I'm all she dies in her own show. Okay. 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 Yeah, that made me so upset when they killed off Black Widow. That's what pissed me off about the Black Widow movie. I'm like, she's dead now. Why? Why kill her off? Why couldn't they kill Hulk off? I mean, I can't stand Mark Ruffalo. Deadman Walking 55 says, I think the use of the world between worlds is a great way to lose a lot of people that aren't deep into Star Wars lore hard enough keeping up with all the multiverses. And this was a concept, even in the EU, I wasn't a fan of. Now, that's interesting that you bring that up, Dan Man Walking, because I know when Ahsoka was first announced, OG Star Wars, which if you're not following her on YouTube, you need to because she knows everything about OG Star Wars lore. Literally, she's the person that I ask about questions, and I'm like, the world between worlds. What the frick is that? I'm like, I don't remember seeing that in the movies or hearing about that. At all. And you're right. It seems like every single movie that's coming out lately, they're into this whole multiverse thing. And I'll tell you right now, normies don't have that much of an attention span. So it's just like multiverse. I've seen that too much. Bump this show. I'm out. Helena J says, yeah, I'm lost. I'm just here because I love y'all. Well, I love how y'all call this stuff out because it needs to be called out. I don't like to tell people what to think. I don't. I just give my opinion. You guys give your opinion and you leave it out there. But there's no hide in this stuff anymore. It's as plain as day. Star Wars is dead. It's been dead for a long time, and ravens are just picking over its carcass right now. Battle Him 63 says, I give this a score of no out of a possible. Oh yeah. I want to give this one like a 2 because how dare you? How dare you bring back Hayden Christensen for this? Mm. This episode will get KK recapped. It was so bad. Yeah, she's still around. She's still around. She will be in her corner somewhere. She's not going to get fired. They will let her live out the rest of her contract and put her in a corner somewhere. But it's not Kathleen Kennedy that you need to worry about. It is her lieutenants that you need to worry about. Case in point, the acolyte. Wait till that sucker comes out. Bonzo de Bonzo says, thank you, Lorena. I hate to watch and run, but I gotta fly. Hail to the chat. Well, glad you're here. You are very, very, very welcome. And yes, too much slow talking. Too much slow talking. And there isn't the talent of writing expository dialogue. Soap operas are very good at this. They're slow talking, but there's a reason behind it with what's going on. They haven't mastered that. God, it's just ridiculous. Talking and looking, talking, no voice inflection. We only hear voice inflection from the Sith. And even little Sith, her facial expressions tell you, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum, daggone it. And I'm pissed. Absolutely pissed. Dave, my writing should be a felony. Helena J says, how do you hire people with no knowledge? It's like hiring me to write this. Knowing the source material should be mandatory. That's logical, and that's too logical. Right now, Lucasfilm isn't running on logic; they're running on emotion. The force is female. We need to have girl bosses. We need to have more women. More women for the sake of having women in it, not women as kick-ass characters, just because let's face it, these women are not kick-ass characters whatsoever. None. None. Not at all. Not at all. So they hire the people that they want to bring in because there's an agenda, and the agenda is not, excuse me, is not honoring the Star Wars lore. The agenda is tearing apart Star Wars lore to put this abomination out. And that's it. Palpatine will show up in an episode. You know what? I have not seen Rise of Palpatine. I mean, Rise of Skywalker. I refuse to watch that, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you got Hayden. Why not bring the whole band back and get them together? Damon Walker says you'll love the new Jedi Order. I don't read, but I couldn't put those down. I've heard good things about the new Jedi Order. Friends of mine that I worked with would read it. That's why I didn't really read the EU books because I let them read them and tell me if it was worth checking out. I just didn't have time. I just didn't have time. But my friends who devoured the books because the books were what held people over between films. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. Getting those books were the things that would hold you over between films or when the films had ended that just kept the fandom and the lore, alive. Alan says, when I saw the clip of KK saying there was source material to work from, my jaw dropped to the floor. Yeah, I was like, the devil is a liar. I mean, ridiculous. Okay, here's the other reason why it's ridiculous too. Okay. When I lived in Los Angeles, as I call it, Los Angeles, where I lived at, I lived among a lot of writers, actors, producers, executive producers, directors. Every time that I would walk into a Barnes and Noble, they would have a section that basically said these books would make great screenplays. Okay. There were interns whose job was to scout out source material for the next movie, the next script, the book that they want to get, the options from I mean, to get the movie options for that. For example, the book The Meg, okay, somebody went and optioned that. Why? Because they found that book and they read it. So she's full of crap. The reason why she said that, and this is just me, I believe the reason why she said that there was no source material is to make it seem like you should like what we have to give you. There was no source material, so this is the best that we could do. Mm. You're still drinking. Remember work tomorrow. See, this is a good thing about working from home, you know? And I do not normally drink. So, and just to say, this is sangria, okay? Sangria is half juice, half wine, okay? I have to give you guys my sangria recipe, actually. It's so good. I give it away as Christmas presents. And yes, it's absolutely delicious. Chef Nation, I feel like going live later tonight. I'm worked up. Well, if you go live, Damn Man Walking, you let me know. Because I'm going to get PTSD having to edit this review. But I love it because it's raw. It's right after we see it. And folks get to see the actual visceral reaction of folks. They should just do a Lothcat documentary series would be better. Absolutely. Lothcat and Chopper. Don't forget Chopper. Adventures of Chopper. I would love to see that. Unexpected Fire says lots to pick apart, but the worst thing is that Ahsoka is the least interesting character in her own show. And this is what I'm talking about. You guys knew I was looking forward to this show. When Ahsoka was first introduced in The Mandalorian, it was badass what they did with her. I thought so. I like Rosario Dawson. I'm a Rosario Dawson fan. I wanted Ahsoka to be good. I came into watching it wanting it to be good. You guys have probably seen me on the Dark Council talking about it. I wanted Ahsoka to be good. So for people who are saying, and I've seen some of you in the comments, like you're going in just purposely hating it. No, I went into this wanting to like it. And when you take the titular character and Make her about as interesting as paint drying on the side of a house. That offends me. And that offends a lot of people. And it really should offend Rosario Dawson, but she got her money and everything. But come on, don't treat your titular character like that. And I'm just supposed to sit back and take it. No, we deserve better. And you're wasting my time when you do this. But why am I reviewing this? Because you know what? I want those rights to say, yes, I did sit and I did watch the whole entire freaking thing. Dabman Walking 55 says, honest question. I inherited Disney Plus because I needed more ESPN. Should I watch Ahsoka episode 3? No, watch our webinar of it. Watch our review of it. The member review of the episode is all you need to watch. And that clip of me reacting to Ahsoka as a space pop. They should do a Palpatine spinoff. It could have Darth Maul in it. Exactly. More Darth Maul. He has so much hate. His ashes magically all combined back together. Hey, it's Disney magic and pixie dust. Chef Nation says, oh, wait, you don't know the Sinister brought back Maul, gave him some spider legs and an Obi-Wan killed him. No, Chef Nation, I had zero knowledge of this. As a normie, I thought Maul got that dirt nap when he got cut in half with a saber. To quote that famous line from Set It Off, ain't no coming back from that. So I did not know that they worked some kind of Evil Dead necromancy stuff to bring back Maul. Mm. Yep, another reason why normies are like, man, bump this show. Ahsoka's so dark in this, she might as well be Sith. And Battle Him makes a very good point. This isn't Ahsoka's show, though. This is Sabine's show. Yes, that's another thing. Why is it Sabine's show when it's named Ahsoka? Well, then again, you had Kenobi, and it was mostly about Leia. And Boba Fett wasn't even the main character in his own show. Again, it is bait and switch. I'm noticing yet again. Boba Fett to bring the Memberberries and the OG fans, and then you switch it up on them. Yeah, she's awesome. She's probably getting a real kick out of out of my reactions to this because she knows that I mainly watch the movies, and when something doesn't line up with the movies, I get pissed. And then she'll explain to me why. Yeah, we do. We not only do we make this fun, but because it isn't just me opining, it's you guys who are members opining, um, is why this is so good. And if you're not a member of my channel, you need to be because we have too much fun. Helen and Jay says, I was never into Star Wars, even as a late Gen X kid, but I can respect the cult classic it became. How they're destroying what was a masterpiece for its time is sad and infuriating. Shaking my head. Yeah, one of the great things about the Star Wars films is that they were in pop culture lexicon. You know, so when people make Star Wars references, you get them. And you've seen Star Wars references in TV and films. People get it. When you say so and so is like Yoda, you understand what that means. And it's just it's awful what they've done. I can't wait for the Acolyte. I'm gonna probably need like some Mike's Hard Cider. You know what? I'm probably just gonna get a straight up bottle of rum for the Acolyte. Tell you this stuff I gotta review because what are they gonna call me? Sexist? Good luck with that. My big problem is no chemistry between any of the characters. Yeah, I don't see any tension between Sabine and Ahsoka. I mean, Ahsoka could just basically be, a wino from down the street. There's nothing that convinces me there's a relationship there. Hera, I can't believe that chick's a general. Really, general of what? It's nuts. Well, even for the High Republic, they hire Star Trek writers. What universe other than the world between worlds does that make sense? I think they were the same writer that when she was talking about Star Wars that she did the Vulcan salute instead. Oh my gosh, it was the biggest self-own like ever. But I think she was also the same person who her boyfriend suggested that one of the characters in the High Republic should be a rock. Geode. Nuts. Let's see. I'm going to try to wrap some of this up because you guys are saying such good stuff. Battle Hymn 63 says there's absolutely zero sense of urgency in this show. At this point, these 4 episodes could have been one. Yes. And we've seen this happen before. I've seen it with the Book of Boba Fett. I've seen it with The Mandalorian, where it's obvious um, certain episodes should have been combined, but they didn't do it. Why? Well, there's a nefarious reason behind that. Let's see. Princess Leia, Ellen Ripley, Sarah Connor, great characters. This show, not so much. Exactly. Exactly. Not at all. Dad man says, oh gosh, I love watching you drinking in the corner. You look like you're really relaxing and sloshing the sangria around in a glass. I'm probably a little punchy. But that's what I do. That's what I do. What irritates me, Battle Hymn 63 says, is that every time Hera is in a scene, either someone else is pointing out that she's a general or she does it herself. It's like, don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? God, really? It's nuts. Helena J says, I knew a lady who made it with some kind of lime juice, and I would be an alcoholic if I got the recipe. Oh, well, I'm going to have to give y'all my sangria recipe just for members. I have a winter sangria and I have a summer summer sangria. I'm just going to say for the winter sangria, you're going to be discovering certain produce sections of your supermarket because there's nothing like making it fresh. And for those who don't know, sangria, of course, Spanish in origin, was a lot safer to drink wine than water. So you had a combination of wine and fruit juice and spices. Alan says one quote that entered pop culture: "That's no moon, that's a space station." Absolutely. And use the force. Use the force, Luke. And Deadman says, hey, Geode has more personality than most of the characters here. I cannot disagree with that for sure. For sure. This episode, again, I feel like Drinker bumped this show. I mean, if you're happy to see Hayden Christensen and you love this episode, fine. But I do not. I think it's cheap. I think it's lazy. And it's a slap in the face to his appearance in not Return, excuse me, Revenge of the Sith. It really is. It makes me happy and then makes me angry to see this. More like really probably pissed off too, when I see it. Stop going for the Memberberries. You did it with Luke and the Mandalorian, and you did it with Hayden Christensen in Kenobi, and now you're doing this in Ahsoka. Man, bump this show. All right, folks. So that is going to do it for this review of episode 4 of Ahsoka. Um, I want to say an episode was so bad that Disney Plus didn't even give us the proper title to when it was uploaded to the system. So let me know in the comments, what do you feel about this particular episode? Was it even worth the watch? Did you like Hayden Christensen showing up? Or are you just like, you know what? Just stop dragging Anakin's dead carcass out like Weekend at Bernie's. Freaking tired of this nonsense. I would love to hear what you have to say. All right. So with that said, make sure you hit that like button if you got some value out of this. And if you didn't get any value out of this video, well, thank you for watching as long as you have. It certainly does help the algorithm. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and also consider becoming a member, because members get to do all kinds of cool things like suffer with me through Ahsoka and give their opinions about the episode before I upload the review to the interwebs. And you guys can see just how much fun it is to be a member of my channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye, y'all.